I'm back with another banger. As usual, we are starting again from the goalkeeper's position, but before that, sorry for not posting any videos last week. I was very sick and I couldn't speak at all. So yeah, it was pointless to make any kind of content because it wouldn't have been as clear as I wanted it to be. So that's the reason there were no videos last week. But this week we are back again and we're back with a very good best team, and the differential draft will be following after that. The best team in Go, I'm opting for Areola. He's 4.1, I believe, and he has a home fixture against Sheffield United. I don't think there is a better fixture for anyone defensive-wise from the goalkeepers department. I believe that there are some other contenders such as Raya from Arsenal, maybe Pope, but Areola is cheap, and if you need to find some money to build your team and put them elsewhere, Areola is the guy for you, so don't be afraid to pick him. As mentioned, there are other options. Flecken is another option that I'm considering for the best team, but for me, Areola stands out from the most of the guys because he has low price and a home fixture and an easy fixture. So yeah, that's all I can say about him. And most of the teams that I discussed, I have a defensive coverage in defense because I believe that their defenders are just better than the goalkeepers representative of the side. So going for a goalkeeper who doesn't have any good defenders is a great solution right now, and Areola fits the bill perfectly. Now let's go and see how the defense is looking like. I believe there are some things to discuss there. We are right into the defense, and I believe that some of you are surprised to see some of the picks here, but hear me out. First, we are going to discuss Saliba. He is the most nailed defender from Arsenal, and I believe that he is their best defender right now. For me, there isn't a lineup without Saliba, so he is as nailed as you get. Maybe some of them will get a rest, but I don't think Saliba will be rested. For me, away fixtures for Arsenal are better defensively because they tend to keep the pressure coming at some times, and they just do better defensively away. I don't know why and what's the reason behind it, but they tend to do. So a Saliba, pretty good shout out for a clean sheet, and it's a pretty good option to invest in your Game Week 7 draft. Next up is Trippier. Newcastle are back to their best. They kept 2 clean sheets. They have a game today and Sunday, but I cannot wait for that game to finish to build up that draft. I believe that Newcastle's defense is going to be strong going forward, and their best defender is Trippier. If you have the money, 6.5, I think he is, or around that price. If he dropped in price, I'm not sure. But yeah, Burnley a home fixture. Burnley a loss to United. Yeah, they gave them hell, but United prevailed, so I don't see why Newcastle cannot do so. I believe that there may be some rotation, but Trippier is their captain, and as the best defenders go, he's on set pieces, he's taking some free kicks, he's delivering ball good from dead balls, from out of play, from in-play game. I believe he's a great shout out. And the final guy here I'm opting to go for in defense is Kabore. He has 2 fixtures this week, and I believe that he is the most nailed wing back from Luton. Doughty is another choice, but Kabore is just cheaper. In my draft I went for Giles, and he missed 2 of the games already, so that was a mistake, while Kabore was dropped down for the penalty, and he has 5 points from this game week 6 I mean, and 2 fixtures in game week 7, Everton away and Burnley at home, are a great way for Luton to rack up some more points because they need them. I know Everton just beat up Brentford, but I think that was a fluke. I believe that Brentford were not up to par and they will be very well suited in the next game week. But yeah, Everton will be back to their worst, I believe. And Burnley, I know they're in need of points, but they have a game against Newcastle and then a game against Luton. 2 away fixtures. I don't think that Burnley are getting a lot of points from those game weeks. There are some other options like Cowell from Chelsea or Gusto, if you like. He is another good option, but I don't like Chelsea as a whole, and I believe that if a single game week goes, maybe you should opt for a Manchester City defender. Maybe Ruben Diaz is an option, but I wanted to have someone from the double up teams in defense to represent them, and 2 defenders that I believe are way more solid than the Chelsea defense. And Manchester City look a little bit shaky, and now without Rodri for several game weeks, it will be hard for them, I believe, because when they were down to 10 men, Nottingham, were pretty attacking. I believe that they will beat Wolves, but I don't see their defense keeping a clean sheet because Wolves are tending to be attacking. They scored against Liverpool, against Manchester United, they deserve to score. Against Luton, they scored. They're basically scoring all the time. Not a lot of goals, but a goal here and there. So that's why I'm opting for another defender, being Trippier and Saliba, not a Manchester City one. The Chelsea defense, as I already explained, they look leaky to me. Aston Villa do not have a good fixture. Brighton as well. They play each other. Liverpool are not pretty solid in defense, and they're way more expensive than they deserve to be. Trent is not yet back into the side. We need to see how he's going to settle after coming back from injury. So a lot of question marks there. Am I missing another team? Yeah, Manchester United. I don't think anything in defense for United is going well. They just lost Regulion to an injury. Wan-Bissaka is out, so they're playing something like Johnny Evans, Lindelof, Varane, Lisandro Martinez. It's a little bit of shambles there, so I'm not opting for anyone from their defense. And the other teams just do not scream stability, while Arsenal and Newcastle do. And Kabore is just a wild card pick to say, just to have a little bit of fun of the game, because that's what fantasy is for, to have fun. I know that me included and most of the people that play fantasy take it up to heart, but we just need to remember just to have fun, and we cannot control if a good pick is not doing well. We can just pick the better picks, and I believe that those 4 players in defense can get you points in game week 7. Now let's jump into the midfield, where things get interesting for sure. In midfield, as you can see, a lot of solid options. Let's start one by one. First, Bruno Fernandes. He is the only green light in that Manchester United lineup right now. I know he hasn't always been up to par with the necessity of being a captain or someone to represent Manchester United badge, but later he's doing fine. He scored a very good goal against Burnley, so he deserves a shout out in this best team for game week 7. I believe that the home game against Crystal Palace, they need to win it again, because if they do not, they will lose a lot of places and a lot of points that are needed to be won, basically. So yeah, Crystal Palace at home for Bruno is a good option to continue his form. Yeah, they lost to Bayern Munich and they have a Carabao Cup game, but I believe that he is going to be rested there, and then he will have a good game against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are not easy to penetrate, especially under Roy Hodgson, but I believe that Manchester United will score a goal at least. So yeah, I believe that United will be scoring goals and Bruno will be involved for sure. He is far better than Rashford and Højlund right now, so that's why I'm picking him. Bukayo Saka, as explained with Saliba, I just cannot go without Arsenal player against Bournemouth. Arsenal are doing very well. They did destroy PSV in the Champions League. They have a game against Spurs today. I do not know the score yet, but when you're watching the video, you will be most probably know it. But for now, Saka is staying. He's on penalties. He's delivering good points. I believe that he's going to be rested in the Carabao Cup, so he won't be rested against Bournemouth. So yeah, I believe that this draft deserves an Arsenal attacker, and Saka looked like the most nailed one and the most deserving one. Next up is James Ward-Prowse. I believe that he is in a very good place for himself. He can deliver great set pieces, and they have players that can score them. Their defenders are very good with the headers. Antonio is good with the header. Danny Ings is good with the headers. Some other players are... Souček is good with the headers. So James Ward-Prowse is delivering a lot of good set pieces. And if they get a corner kick or a free kick, he is going to deliver it on someone's head. He's scoring goals out of play, but if he gets a penalty, he may even score it. So James Ward-Prowse against Sheffield, it's a pretty good pick. Anyone that has a home fixture against the newly promoted sides basically is great consideration, apart from Everton. As you can see, I'm not owning anyone against Everton because I don't believe that Everton are so good offensively still. But yeah, James Ward-Prowse deserves the place here. At Mbumo, I know that he did nothing against Everton basically, but he's on penalties, he's nailed, he's their talisman right now, and away fixture to Nottingham is just the right time for him to start scoring again basically. and to just keep providing for Brentford, because when he is not providing, they're struggling. I know that Chelsea asset is missing, as I already mentioned. They have an okay fixture, but Sterling, I don't see him as a better option to those four guys. Three of them are on penalties. One is on set pieces for sure. They're talismanic to their teams right now, and Sterling is just not. Liverpool asset here missing. Yeah, they have a tough fixture, so I'm not considering them right now. I believe that against so no Villa are not playing no Villa Brighton. So Liverpool are playing Spurs. Sorry, Spurs assets are missing here because they play Liverpool, and I don't see Liverpool and Spurs as great assets for game week 7. They're great assets overall, and if you own them and you want to play the game regularly, they're fantastic. But if you want to just attack each fixture by fixture, I believe that Spurs and Liverpool players are just a no for me. Other than that, Chelsea, I discussed City assets. I don't see their midfielders being stronger than their forwards, and I have some of them in the forward line. You'll see in a minute. Other than that, maybe, yeah, an Aston Villa player is missing here. And Brighton player, as I explained, they play each other. They are just before a new international game. So I don't know what to expect there. That's why I'm not going for any of them. I believe those four midfielders will bring you great points in the upcoming game week 7, but those four that I'm going to showcase to you are going to be magical as well. As promised, here are the forwards. Before discussing them, if you want to support me, please subscribe to the channel, give a like to the video, write down a comment with anything you want to discuss. I'll be answering everyone, but now let's focus on the forward line. I believe that Alvarez and Haaland are the best partnership in the Prem right now, and I know that Alvarez blanked in game week 6, but he was subbed off just because he needed the rest, and they needed a little bit of a tactical change, and Alvarez was the obvious choice to be subbed off. I'm not pretty uncomfortable with that, but I believe that from game week 7 onwards, he will be back to his best once again, and together with Haaland will score a lot of goals against Wolves. I truly believe that. They're pretty good here. I don't see any issues with going with both of them. They are the best Manchester City coverage that you need. At some point, maybe you need a third player because they will be so popular, but for now, the two of them are just enough. And the final guy here is Morris. He scored a penalty today against Wolves, and I believe against Everton and Burnley, he can score at least one goal. So yeah, it's good to have a player with a double up who is on penalties and it's already scoring goals in the Prem and making returns, and Morris fits the bill here perfectly. I know there are several other options like Wilson or Isaac. They are good options as well, especially a home fixture against Burnley. Gabriel Jesus is an option, or Nketiah, whoever you prefer to put in the side against Bournemouth as well. There is Wissa against Nottingham Forest. Awoni, I know it's a game against Brentford, but he is doing well, and he just missed the target a couple of times against City, but he could have scored as well. Højlund is an option here. Maybe someone from Liverpool, being Gakpo or Darwin, is an option here. Jackson, if you still believe in him. There are a lot of options, but I believe that Alvarez and Haaland together with Morris just make the perfect partnership for this game week, and I believe that they're going to do bits and they're going to do damage, so beware of the points that they're going to return. I believe those are going to be good points. I believe that if you are making just one transfer, I would most probably focus maybe Trippier or Ward-Prowse if you do not already own them, because most of the other guys are already popular. And speaking of popular, I will be just jumping into the differential draft. Stay tuned to see that. But for me, if disregarding price points and ownership percentages, that is the best team for game week 7. Now let's jump and discuss some differentials that can boost your rank massively. And here it is, the differential 11 that I prepared for you this time around. Now let's go player by player. Flecken is here because he is the only good fixture goalkeeper for game week 7, but he is under 4% owned, so he will return a lot of points. Areola is a good choice this week. Maybe Pope is a good choice. Rob Sanchez is a good choice. Pope, I already mentioned him, sorry, but maybe Leno against Chelsea one is a good option. There are a lot of great options this game week, but all of them are over 10%. That's the rule. Just be under 10%. So Flecken fits that perfectly. In defense, I've already discussed Kabore, 5.2% with double fixtures. He can return a lot of points for a lot of managers in the upcoming fixtures. Schär is the guy to represent the Newcastle defense. Botman and Trippier are already way more popular than him, but he is at an okay price range, and 3.7% with a goal threat under his belt is a good option. Ben White is here, still representing the Arsenal players strong. And then the Arsenal defenders, Saliba and Gabriel are way over 10%. The other options do not make me happy when they pick them, but Ben White is a pretty good option. Now with Zinchenko back into the side, he can overlap Saka and return to his great points that he got last season. And Ruben Dias still under 10% ownership, but he is in Manchester City defense, and I believe that he is a pretty solid choice. In midfield, I'm opting for Bowen. I already discussed they have a game against Sheffield. I said yes, Sheffield. I know that he has a little bit of a problem, but there is almost a week up until their fixtures, so I believe Bowen will be fine. Eze is a differential player here that I did know that he's going to be a differential, but he's now under 10%, so a home away fixture to Manchester United. Manchester United defense is looking shaky. Here you can opt for Eze. Edward is another great option, but I believe those two strikers up front are better than him. But yeah, Eze for now, a great option from the Newcastle side. On set pieces, everything is good with him. Next up, we have Doku. If you own Alvarez and Haaland, if you want another attacker from Manchester City, Doku is a good option. Foden is a better option, but Doku is a differential and he can return some points because he is rapid and he tends to shoot a lot, so expect a lot of returns from him sooner rather than later. And the last guy here is Jensen. I'm just tributing to him because he scored another goal for them. He is not as good as Mbeumo. If you want to go for a specific Brentford player, go for Mbeumo, but if you want to double up, Jensen is a pretty good differential that you can go for. Up front, Wilson, I know that they're managing his minutes, but I believe that Isaac will be playing in the Champions League and Wilson will be tearing up the Prem. So yeah, Wilson upgrade choice under 10%. And Morris, 2.3% owned. I believe that he is a pretty good shout out to go for a differential pick in game week 7. 2 fixtures, penalties, talismanic player. You cannot go wrong here. As mentioned, Edward is a great option. He has a game against United and they're looking leaky, especially with defenders like Lindelof and Evans. Burnley were unlucky not to score against them, but it is what it is. Regardless of that, those 11 players for me can boost your rank massively. If you agree, if you want some other propositions, and if you have other opinion, please share it down in the comment section below. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!